Hi there. If you're new here, welcome to Kitty Witty Papercraft. If you've been following me for a little while, welcome back. And thank you for coming back. I know it's been a while since I've done a video. So thank you so much for joining me today. In this video, I wanted to share some vintage playing cards that I have and some ideas for how you can use them in junk journals. So on my Instagram recently, I shared a post showing these cards and some of the cards inside. And in the caption, I was sharing some ideas for how you can use them in your journals. But I thought I would do a video and just have a couple, like a craft with me video, and just show you a couple different ways that you can use them. But first I'll show you the cards really quickly. I'm not going to go through all of them, but these are some of my favorite vintage children's card games. So there's all different kinds. I've got Snap and Rummy, Hearts here. Crazy Eights. There's also Old Maid. I know I'm probably forgetting some, but there's all different card games out there. And like you'll see, like there's different versions of Rummy, and they all have different, or Snap, or any of the different card games that are popular. Different manufacturers made them, and they have all different illustrations on them, and they're all really, really awesome. So I get these, obviously, you know, you can try to find them at an antique shop or a vintage shop, estate sales, yard sales, you know, anywhere that you buy used stuff is a good place to look for these. And always, when all else fails, there's always eBay and Etsy to look for vintage things. So, you know, some of these came from eBay. So, yeah, so they just have the sweetest little illustrations. They're perfectly aged, so they've got great patina to them. Sometimes you'll find them and the cards will be creased or, you know, maybe have some scribbles on them, but most of the time I can find these in pretty good shape. So this one's really, really sweet. I really love the Snap, Rummy, and Hearts games. That's why I pulled these out. These are my favorite ones. Just because the illustrations are so cute. And the manufacturers, like Whitman makes them. So this is made by Whitman. And this is another Whitman one. This one's really old. This is also Whitman. So they were a very popular manufacturer of these cards. And sometimes when you're doing a search for them, like if you're looking online, like at eBay or Etsy, the sellers will sometimes list them like that, like Whitman Hearts card game or something like that. I don't know the manufacturer on this one, and this is one of my favorites, this Animal Rummy. This one's harder to find with this cover, and the animals inside look like I'm going to show you right here, and I don't know the manufacturer on this one. It doesn't say. So, but I love these. They are just the perfect, if you love vintage kitsch, these animals fit right in there. So cute. And the reason why some of them are missing, I've taken them out. I sold a few mixed card packs in my Etsy shop, so some of the cards are missing, or I've used them in journals that I've made. So that's Animal Rummy and the Snap and this older Snap. I love, love, love these. So these two card decks are exactly the same. They were just probably published a few years apart, but those are both made by Whitman. And I love these because they have words on them. So every one has like a little story on it. And they have all different animals on them. And the illustrations are just beautiful. And I love the font on the little sentences on here. So these are really, really fun. I love that lion. This one has a whole bunch of different animals in it. So that is Snap. And then Hearts are also another favorite. This is a card deck I really, really love. This one that has the monkey on the cover. And this is also made by Whitman. I love the designs on these. So there's the chickens and these monkeys. And these bunnies with clover. And my favorite are the tigers with the stars. I love star motifs, and I love the colors on this one. So this is one of my favorite children's card games, this Hearts with the monkey on the cover. And this one's a little different. This one's even older. I'll show who makes this one. Yeah, this one doesn't say either. A lot of times when they don't have the publisher on them, they're even older. Oh, Fairchild, okay. These are like from the 50s, I believe. These are a little different, but still just really sweet, really special. So these would have been great for Valentine's Day. I forgot that these had ones inside with a heart, but those would have been really great for Valentine's journals. I missed the boat on that one. And then Crazy Eights. I love the box. And the boxes on all of these are just as great as the cards. These are really whimsical, kind of silly, but, you know, perfectly kitschy. And these have numbers on them. So some of them don't have numbers, like the Rummy has letters and numbers. These snap cards just had like words on them. Ones with the numbers, I thought those would be fun. You could add to a journal if you want to mark a specific day, maybe like for an event or a birthday or something. You know, you could put that on the page to kind of go with whatever date you're trying to journal about. And, you know, this old paper is always coming off, falling apart. It's brittle, kind of gets everywhere. If you have a date like the 14th, you could just do like a 1 and a 4, you know, something like that. That's a little bit silly, but that is one way that you could use playing cards. The numbers can mark the date in your journal. So for this video, I pulled out some cards already, and I'm going to put these to the side. And I have a couple of ideas. So I'm just going to do like 4 different ways you could use cards in a journal, and I'm using my Kitty Dory. So this is a traveler's notebook size journal. This is a standard wide journal, and this is one I made for myself. And so far, I have not really set this up in any way. It's just kind of the pages are here and ready to go. I still need to add pockets and tuck spots and trims and things to it. So I have not really used this at all. I think I made, yeah, 1 pocket from a bingo card and a little pocket in the front with this doily. But other than that, I haven't done anything to this journal. And I'm going to use it today just to demonstrate some ideas for how you can use these playing cards in your journal. So I just pulled out some of my favorite ones. Probably the simplest thing, and I'm sure you already know this, and this is really obvious and basic, but playing cards make a great tuck spot. So, oopsie, sorry, I'm always bumping my camera. Very soon I have a new camera set up, and I have not tested it out yet, but hopefully that will be better, and I will stop bumping my camera when I'm doing videos. So when I take a playing card and I want to make a tuck spot, I just attach it to the corner of a page. So I will just use double-sided tape and just attach the side and the bottom. Of course, you could do this to either corner on a page, and you just leave the one side open. So on a left-facing page, I like to use the left corner. So I just use double-sided tape for almost everything. It's permanent. It has really good adhesion and staying power. So I really like using the double-sided tape. And when you have a tuck spot on your page, it's still it doesn't take up quite as much room as a pocket, but you know, it's just kind of on the side, and then you can just add more things to your pages. So it makes it really easy to get lots of layers. You know, you could store photos on that page. Like this page has lines on it, so you could journal straight on the page and then maybe add a photo or some kind of ephemera to the little tuck spot. So yeah, that's all that is. And I can grab some ephemera, and then you can just kind of layer this up with some other things. So that's just probably the simplest thing that you can do with a playing card, is make it a tuck spot. Another thing that you can do with cards is make a little flip out area. So let's see. Let me find a place in here that I would want to do that. I think this will look nice because of the yellow it picks up. So when I do a flip out area, I just use washi tape. And you can put this anywhere along the side. You could even do a flip area at the top, just kind of attach it at the top and it'll flip up. I'm just going to put it on the side, I think, and use washi tape, and that's going to flip out, and then you can do something on the back of the card. So I'm just going to grab one of these washies. It doesn't matter how wide of a washi tape you use, any of these except probably the thinnest one. You want something that's going to go on the front and the back of the page, but any of these will work. I'll try this one. Haven't used this washi before, so I got to get it started there. So, I mean, basically you just put washi on, half on the card and half is going to go on the other side of the page. I love this washi tape. You'll see me use it all the time. It's made by a company called gowashi.com. That's their website. And then I just wrap the, oh wait, I just did it on 2 pages. Did you see me do that? I grabbed 2 pages. I thought that felt kind of thick. Okay, let's try that again. So once you wrap it around the page, then you have this little area that flips out. And I love having little hidden places for journaling and things. Instead of everything just kind of being right out in the open, you can have a little hidden area. Or it could just be decorative, it doesn't matter. But if you want to, you could do something on the back. So a little idea I had for this was putting a little photograph back here and decorating the back of this. So I had something I had to print out using my matte photo paper. So I just took an image off of my computer. This is my cat. This is Tigger, one of my cats, and he's my big baby. And I just opened up a Word document and I put different images in there that I need to print out for some upcoming projects. And I just added his photo as one of the images. And so I don't use anything fancy like Photoshop or anything like that. I just literally open up a Word document and find the photo that I want, add it to the Word document, as a picture. And then I just resized it. And I just resized this to, it's a little bit under 2 by 2. And then I cut it out, and I just cut it out with a little bit of the white around the picture, so it kind of has like a little frame. And I'm going to put this here. And it's funny, when I was coming up with my ideas of what I wanted to do for this video, and I thought about doing a photo on the back of this card, I wasn't sure what I wanted to use this journal for. And when I saw this picture of my cat, I was thinking, you know what? This whole journal could be documenting about my cats. I'm really not a scrapbooker. I've shared that before, but not that I'm against it. I just haven't ever done it before. And so, trying to start now, my kids are 15 and 18, and I just don't have a lot of time to do personal crafting and stuff. So it's just not something I really wanted to start doing. But I feel like a small little project, like just maybe having a journal filled with pictures of my cats and maybe journaling a few stories, because I'm sure if you have pets, they do really funny things and they are a big joy in our lives. So the other reason I thought this journal would be good for doing a journal for my cats is the little girl on the cover is holding a cat. So I think that may be what I use this journal for. And I made this journal partly because I wanted to have something that I could use to do craft with me videos or journal with me kind of videos. And I would just kind of film as I go along, filling this journal, trimming it out, all of that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. This is going to be all about my cats. So again, I'm just going to use my washi tape. This is the really thin 1/8 inch. You can use any size, obviously. But I just kind of grab what's handy. I have this one and the 1/4 inch wide tape on my desk right now. And I'm just going to use this one. And then I'm going to decorate it a little bit just because, and part of, for me, what is appealing about keeping a junk journal or any kind of journal, like just keeping a straight journal where I just write, doesn't really appeal to me a whole lot. But if I can combine it with, actually, before I stick that down, I'm talking and I want to actually put something else underneath of this, I think. I have to be able to combine crafting with it. And that's one of the things that I just love about junk journaling, is it's not just about the journaling, it's the artistic side, the creative, playing with paper kind of thing. So that really appeals to me. So when I do a page, it's not going to be just like straight writing, journaling, the actual like filling it with die cuts and stickers and fabrics and ephemera and all of that is like super important to me. So that is what I want to do here. So I don't want to just put his picture on here. I want to put something with the picture. So this is one of my, well, it's not mine. It's Pretty Little Studio makes it, but I carry some of their die cuts in my Etsy shop. And this is one that I have in there right now. It's called Flower Garden. And these florals are just gorgeous. So I want to put something on here. Not too big. I like these because they're all different sizes. So some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller. And I want something that is not going to hang off the side. So when I have this closed, you can't see anything sticking out. Like normally I would probably have an embellishment kind of hang off the side like that, but then I don't like the way that looks so much. So on this one, I think I'm just going to put it in the background and not have it hang off. I think that still works. So let's see. Yeah, I'm just going to do that. And I did not stick that down. So yeah, this is what I love so much about junk journaling is just the playing around and just kind of being creative. And I know like some people feel like the documenting part is really important to them. And I think that's awesome. And I know that is something that if I did that, and I would cherish that as I got older and I could look back and see, you know, what I was thinking at a certain time. But it's just, you know, not something I've ever taken the time to do. And it's hard to find the time to do that kind of thing. So I'm always like in awe of people that are awesome with all their scrapbooks because it's a big undertaking, and what a treasure that'll be. That's awesome. So let's see. So I want to add some stickers to this little guy. I wasn't planning to do like a whole lot of decorating in this video. I just kind of wanted to show you the ideas, but might as well do a little decorating on this one. So I think I'm going to add a little word sticker right on his photo. This is a Maggie Holmes Willow Lane sticker pack. I actually haven't even opened it yet. So let me see here. I love these clear stickers. These are great for putting on photos. Let's see. Oh, he's my little sweetie pie. We've had our cats now for just 2 years, so they're still babies, and we adore these cats. They have been such a joy for us. Let me see how this will look. When I work, like when I'm not doing a video, I like to sing and hum. So I will try not to do that in this video. My family tells me all the time I cannot sing, please stop. So it's hard not to just like let it come out when I'm working, because that is what I normally do. And I want to add some stickers here too. So let's see. And it's just kind of fun when you look at the page, it looks kind of plain, there's nothing here, and then you flip underneath and there's like all these little details. I love working in small spaces. I always feel most comfortable with that. So let's see. This might be too much, but I'm thinking, might add a little XO here. I love these gold puffy stickers. These are also Maggie Holmes or crepe paper. Which one is that exactly? Oh, Thickers. American Crafts. Thickers. Recollection is the name of that collection. So yeah, so there's just a little like hidden area, and then there's room on the page to add other things, but a little flip out that you do things on the back is kind of fun. So let's see. So the next idea I had was just to take a playing card and turn it into a tag. So you might hesitate taking, something vintage and punching a hole in it or stapling it. But, as you saw, I have a whole deck of these, and I figured, just using one card that way doesn't bother me. So I am going to actually, I'm not going to hole punch it and make this into a tag. I'm just going to take some fabric and I'm actually going to staple it. So I just like the way this kind of looks sort of like rough. And I just grabbed a stack of scraps that I have, and I like having tags in my journals because I'll put it on a page and then have the top of the tag stick out over the top edge of the journal, and I love the way that looks. I'm going to look at a page here that I could put this on. I think I will do it on this page. So got some pink, blue, and yellow on that page, and I want to make sure that the fabric that I choose goes with the page and the card and the colors on the cover, because I know the top of the tag of the fabric is going to peek out of the top. So let me just hold my page open like that. So let's see. I'm trying to find some fabric that is long enough to be, a long enough tag. So I'm going to, what do you call it? The ribbon. The fabric is long enough so I can have it peek out of the top. Trying to use my scraps before, cutting into any kind of big pieces. Now I like this one because it's got pink and blue in it. And I think I will like the way that looks with the cover. Yeah, I like that. So I think this will be long enough. It's kind of wide. I'm going to cut this in half. And I'm also going to use this because there's a crinkle in there. If I was making a journal for someone, I would iron this first, but because it's just mine, I do not mind that wrinkle there. So I'm never too precious with the stuff that I am doing for my own personal crafting. And I love the frayed edges, so I will kind of pull on that and fray those edges. And let's see. Okay, so what I'm thinking here is kind of folding the material, and then I'm going to staple it to the top. So let's see. And I like to do this just kind of roughly so it doesn't look too perfect. Kind of uneven like that. And I think I'm going to have, it be on the back side and then staple it. I love just using staplers and fabric together. I like the different, finishes, the metal and the fabric and the paper all being together. So it's just a simple little tag, and then I would paper clip this into onto the page here. But just like I did with the other card, and I did things on the back of it, you could journal on the back of this. Now, obviously, it's got a really dark pattern on the back, so you couldn't write on top of this. You could type something up on a typewriter, like maybe a quote or, documenting a little event or something. You could type it on a typewriter and cut that paper out and put it on the back. Or you could just take a scrap. I have a pile of scraps over here on my table, and you can take a scrap of, this is ledger paper, vintage ledger paper, and just kind of cut yourself a piece of lined paper, and then you can easily write on the lines there. And I kind of like how the card has a frame around it, so I'm just going to eyeball this. Like I would normally get my trimmer out and everything, but for the purpose of this video, I am just going to cut this out. And I am notorious for not cutting a straight line, so this probably will not be straight. Let's see. Cut the bottom off here. And I'm actually going to cut that a little bit more. And then I would just glue this onto the back, and then you have a little writing area. I think I also like the idea of hidden journaling because I tend to be very private. The whole idea about journals and like doing journal with me videos sort of freaks me out, honestly, because I am like so private with my personal life, and I feel like, I don't want to share anything too personal, especially if it's like involves my kids, my husband, my family, whatever. So that part is something I have to sort of like work out how I want to do that. But I figured I could start with my cats, right? That's kind of safe. Because, I do feel funny about journaling personal things and then sharing them in videos like that. I don't know. So that is something I have to sort of work out. But then you have a little spot that you can journal on. And I'm using scraps. Like I don't save teeny little scraps like this, but I save like bigger scraps like I shared with you here. I just have like a Ziploc gallon bag, and I just pop my scraps in there when I'm done a project. And then I have a 12 by 12 like clear scrapbook bin, and I just keep the bags of scraps in there. And I have a couple different kinds of scraps in the bins divided by the little bags that they're in. So I've got like ledger paper scraps. I have scraps left over from my sewing pattern, catalogs, all different kinds of things like that. So I do hold on to all that and try to reuse that. So I like the way that looks. And then it leaves the rest of this page open, and I would just decorate all around this with die cuts, washi tape, whatever you want to do to finish out that page. So that is just another idea. And this last idea, this one's going to take a little bit longer. So I hope I'm already at a half hour. So that's okay. But the idea I had for this one that I thought would be kind of fun, and it's something that can be a standalone thing, not just something to add to a journal, but is to take 2 playing cards and make a mini journal. So these would be the front and back covers. So I would turn the back one like this, and that's the front cover, and that's the back cover. And I did not even practice like making one of these before doing this video, so hopefully this will turn out the way I'm picturing in my mind. But all I would do is, there's a couple ways you could do this. You could certainly like build a spine and, sew little pages in there. You could definitely do that. But because this is just like a little mini journal, I'm going to add inside of my regular journal. I'm just going to keep it really simple and just hole punch 2 holes on the side here. And you can either tie them with ribbon to close them or use little binder rings. So I have these tiny binder rings. I forgot to measure them. I mean, I want to say they're probably a 1/2 inch binder ring. These are actually Tim Holtz mini binder rings. I think that's what they're called, or mini rings, something with the word mini in it, and they're Tim Holtz. I don't know if these are still made. I've had these for a long time, but I'm going to make this into a little journal, and I just line up the sides, make sure they're going the right direction there. And I'm going to use scraps again. So this is another like fun way to use up scraps of scrapbook paper, and I'm totally not even measuring and making sure these are lined up. I'm just kind of putting the holes where it's not blocking or punching out where the words are. I would do this more precisely if I was not making this just for myself, because they're probably not going to be super even. So that's the cover. And what I would do is, let me pull over my pile of scraps here. So like I said, I've got ledger paper scraps, and then I have tons of scrapbook paper scraps. I'm sure all of you have the same thing. And I keep my Maggie Holmes, because I have so much Maggie Holmes paper, I keep all of my scraps in one 12 by 12 clear case. And this journal here is made with Maggie Holmes scrapbook papers, so I know that all of these will coordinate. So I pulled those out specifically, and I just grabbed, I mean, I have a lot more in the bin, but I just grabbed a small pile because I'm not going to make a super big journal. So I grabbed just what I thought would be enough. And then I also had some scrap paper. This was actually just in my desk, and I use sometimes if I just need to write something down real quick. But it was cut down from something else, didn't want to throw it out. So I think I might use that in here as well. And then I have a stack of little Junior Elf books. And I only grabbed these because they're small, because I'm working with something really small. I thought I would just grab some of my smaller things. So maybe I will take a page or two out of one of these little books and add that to it. And then here's just some scraps from a Sears catalog. This is one of the sewing pattern catalog scraps. So I just have a little pile going on here. And let me make myself a little bit of room. So, I mean, really, this is super simple. All you have to do is just cut down your papers to fit inside the playing card. So I am just going to do this like super roughly, just so you can get the idea. And again, I am going to do all of this by hand, so I'm not worried about it being super straight or super neat. Actually, I'm going to cut this side down first. Let's see. Try not to make it super sloppy. And then just like with a junk journal, you can have all different size papers inside your little mini journal. And again, if you're like me and you are super private with your writing and your thoughts, then this might be a fun way to do like a little private journal. So let's see. So that's about the right size. And then, of course, they can be smaller, but I probably don't want to be any bigger than this. So I am just going to come in here and cut up some of these scraps. And I think this will be a fun little thing. And just like with a junk journal, it's going to be a mix of like pattern papers and then papers you can actually write on. And then you can add some embellishments and tabs, just like you would with a regular sized junk journal. I may actually make a few of these papers a little smaller. Actually, this one, maybe I will make this one bigger, and then this one can be folded. So you could like fold it in like this. Oh, that's not straight at the bottom, but here, I can fix that. So this side will get hole punched, and that'll be like a little fold out area there. So let's see. This is just a fun way to use up scraps and do something colorful. And like I said, this is something that could be a standalone little, you know, mini junk journal. And if you've never made a junk journal before, this is something that you could maybe try, just, you know, with a couple playing cards and hole punch, and just use a bunch of scraps just to kind of get the feel for, you know, placing the papers inside of the little journal, and like kind of in an order that looks appealing. So you will want to vary, like scrapbook papers, ledger papers, book pages, that sort of thing. So I am going to stop there with the scrapbook paper. So what do we have? We've got the cover and scrapbook paper. We've got some lined paper, a few pages there. I'm going to kind of keep them together till I hole punch them. And then, so I've got all this ledger paper. Let's see. That will be fun. I'm going to cut one of them. And then, because these are so long, I'm going to do one of these as like a folded page. Again, always awesome for hidden journaling. When you do that though, you want to make sure, like if you're folding it in, you don't fold it all the way over to meet the other side, because then you won't be able to flip it or close it because the rings will be in the way. So I'm actually going to take a little bit of this side off. And that way I can fold it and it'll still be within the size of the card, pretty much. Let's see. What could I do with this thing? Let's see. I think I'll just use this side. I could have folded that or something, but I'm just going to use that like a single page. Let's see. This would be cute. You could make this into like a little pocket, maybe a little pocket page inside. So you could fold up the bottom, and then you just have to glue, or glue the edge here down. It's a little tiny pocket. So that kind of gives you the idea there. And then what you need to do with your papers is hole punch them. So right now I'm just going to line them up, not being super neat with it, but that's all going to fit inside. And then I'll just kind of use the original holes as a guide. Punch that out. So there's our papers, our scrapbook papers. And you can like kind of vary where you put the papers. It doesn't have to be centered. It can be towards the top, towards the bottom. I'll do this one towards the top, just for a little variety. And then these little scraps. Let's see. This is the little pocket thing we made. Do this one this way. This will be something fun to do with kids too. You know, make them or have them just play with scraps and little playing cards and make cute little journals. Kids love cute little small things, right? Like they can hold in their hands. I think this would be really fun to do with young kids. Okay, so now I have all my pages, and just kind of vary where you are putting them. So this is inside the front cover, inside of the back cover. And I'm going to put this one as my front page because I like the way that looks with the green. And then everything else will just kind of fall in behind that. So I'm just going to vary things. If I was doing this like as a for real, like full project, I would spend a lot more time cutting out more papers. But just for the sake of time, I am going to just kind of put this together sort of quickly here. Yeah, I'm just kind of doing every other or so. I didn't punch that right. You know, I've told you guys before, I do this with, I'm not wearing my glasses. I totally didn't even see that I did that. Blind as a bat. Okay, so next thing you have to do is get your rings on the card and then just start threading the papers in. So let's see. I haven't done one of these in a while, so I'm trying to remember how I usually like to set this up. Okay, so I kind of have the rings open and start putting them in from, you can go either way, front to back, back to front. This part is really kind of tedious. Let's see. Oh, just getting the first few on is the hardest. Let's see. That's also hard when you're working with small things to kind of fiddle with them. Okay. I'm just kind of mixing up how I did that. That's okay. I really just want to just sort of give you the idea. Okay, I gotta put my glasses on. I literally cannot see what I'm doing. The reason why I don't wear my glasses is I watch what I'm doing through my phone camera screen. I don't know why. I just feel like I can make sure everything is filming correctly, but it really makes it hard to kind of know what you're doing, watch what you're doing at the same time. So with my new filming setup that I am going to be getting together soon, I will not be doing that. My camera is going to be further up, not really like in front of me, like in front of my vision. It'll be above my vision. So that's going to be something to get used to, but I know that's kind of like the proper way to do things. So yeah, I'm going to try to do it the right way, especially in preparation for my online classes that I'm putting together. I'll put some details about that in the description box below, but I am working on some online classes, if you didn't know already, and I will be having those come out this year. I'm going to teach how to make junk journals, and I have a Facebook group that I will link to below, and I'm sharing all the details about my upcoming classes in the Facebook group. So I'd love to have you join us over there if you would, if you're interested in learning how to make junk journals. So this is just a little mini junk journal now. And I do need to finish off, obviously it could use more pages. I need to finish that little pocket here that I put together that just needs to have the edges tacked down. You could put like a little ticket in there or something, you know, like one of these little vintage tickets, just as a decorative kind of thing, because this is such a small little journal. You can't fit anything big inside, but this is a great place to use small ephemera. Oh, I didn't put any book pages in there, but you could definitely do that. And then maybe just tie some fabrics or ribbons onto the rings to finish it off. And I'm going to use, I have some bigger scraps here, and maybe just tie some fabric onto that. That's a little bit big, so let me trim that out. So yeah, this is just a fun little thing that you can do with playing cards. I think it needs more fabric. I like the way torn fabric looks. So let's see. I'm going to put this inside of the journal, the traveler's notebook, but you could definitely make little standalone journals from this. I probably should have cut this a little narrower. It's a little wide, but that's kind of cute. So this is going to get thumbs down on this video, I'm sure. Oh, this one was a little trickier. Like I said, I didn't try this out before I decided to film this, but I just wanted to come up with a couple different things that you can do with playing cards, and that was one of them. And then I would just tuck this into a pocket, and I don't have too many pockets in here yet. I know I have this one here, you know, and that just slips inside, and then you have your little private journaling there. So those are a few ideas for how you can use vintage playing cards. If you have any questions, please let me know. And I thank you for watching this with me today. And if you have any questions, let me know. If you have a certain way you like to use playing cards, let me know. I'd love to hear. And I will see you guys really soon on my next video. Take care.